So Bradford City have just been defeated on the road once again, losing 2-0 away at Swindon Town. And in today's video, I'll be bringing you guys my thoughts and opinions and like a match reaction to the game. If you do go on to enjoy, please make sure to drop a like on there for me. If you could, try to 80 likes on today's video, that'd be massively appreciated. Subscribe if you're new as well. We are now on the road to 8,000 subscribers, so please make sure you are subscribed. If you haven't already, with that post notification bell on, it's free to do so, and it does massively help out. Get your thoughts in as well down in the comment section down below on today's defeat, as I feel like personally we are now looking over our shoulders. I genuinely do believe we are in a relegation battle. Today was absolutely pathetic. Swindon had won one game in their last 8, scraping a 2-1 win against Forest Green Rovers, and they beat us comfortably. I'm pretty sure they haven't kept a clean sheet since the 14th of October. They've conceded 7 goals to National League side Aldershot this season, and they swooped past us like we weren't even there. We were absolutely pathetic today. That is one of the worst performances I've ever watched from a Bradford City side, and I hope you can understand why I'm not spending my money on travelling and watching this team anymore, because they're simply not good enough. The board, the recruitment, it's all inept. Alexander as well, again, so disappointed with him. And we go back to my original video of when Alexander was appointed as Bradford City's manager. We all knew he wasn't the first choice. In fact, he probably wasn't even in our top 5 choices. We kind of got what we were left with, really, the only person who probably wanted the job. And now we're, I mean, I was going to say reaping the rewards. We are reaping the repercussions of that, because he's not a very good manager, unfortunately. He talks a brilliant game, and I actually quite like listening to his pre-match and post-match interviews, but in terms of tactics on the pitch, team selection, he hasn't got a clue what he's doing. How is Ash Taylor in this team week in, week out? All the Swindon fans were saying at half-time he's one of the worst footballers they've ever seen come to the county ground over the last couple of seasons. You look at Liam Rideout still getting starts in 2024 at Bradford City. I mean, that is criminal. We're playing long ball up to Tyler Smith, just hitting and hoping. Andy Cook barely had a sniff. He had one header maybe in that first half, subbed off at half-time. Fair enough, probably the right decision to do, to bring him off, to maybe give him a little bit of a kick up the backside. He has got some competition. The only slight positive to come out of today's game with Jake Young, he's definitely going to be a Bradford City player until at least the summer, because he came on at half-time. But my head is about to explode with how bad it was today. I guess I'll try and keep some sort of structure to today's video, but we lined up in a 3-5-2 sort of formation, the 3-1-4-2 that we have been playing over the last couple of weeks, with Sam Walker in goal, a back 3 of Sam Stubbs, Ash Taylor and Kieran Kelly, who came back into the side for Jonathan Tompkinson, which I thought was a bizarre move. Happy to see Kelly come into the side, but dropping Tompkinson for me was not the right choice. Taylor should have been the one to come out of the side. How he got another 90 minutes as well, absolutely criminal. We had Brad Halliday right wing back, Liam Rideout get left wing back, with Smallwood, Gilead and Adore in midfield. Adore getting another start, with Cook and Smith leading the line. Really surprised to see Tyler Smith come back into the side. And we have a look at Swindon. According to Sky Sports, that they lined up in a 4-3-3 formation, with Bycroft in goal, a back 4 of Goodwin, Malife, McCarthy, Blake Tracy and Kokolo, with Kane, Khan and Devoy in the midfield, and a front 3 of Glatzel, Austin and Hepburn Murphy. And you think about how comfortable it was for Swindon today. Imagine if they still had someone like Dan Kemp in their side, they would have beaten us by 4 or 5 goals. And I take it back to a point I made earlier. They hadn't kept a clean sheet since the 14th of October, I'm pretty sure, and we never really looked like scoring in the game. Cook had a header in the first half, Jake Young had a decent opportunity in the second half, but apart from that, everything was little sniffs. We don't create enough chances, and we certainly haven't done over the last couple of weeks, but it's the team selection and the tactics. I tweeted it when our team news came out. Our bench was genuinely better than our starting 11, and they had 4 less people involved in it, which is absolutely crazy. And it was such a poor performance. We created absolutely nothing against what is on paper a pretty poor Swindon side. Like I say, just one win in their last 8, and they scraped it 2-1 at home to Forest Green Rovers, who were absolutely dreadful. Alarm bells need to be ringing. People need to wake up. If you are not already, Rupp out, Sparks out, Gent out. I don't really know what else to say to you. Everyone's more than entitled to their own opinion, but the only way this club is getting out of League 2 is to the National League. That is a fact at this moment in time. Swindon took the lead in the game through a Charlie Austin penalty, with Kieran Kelly making a foul, I think, on Paul Glatzel in the penalty area. Looked a little bit soft to me, if I'm being honest with you. I think it was more of a tangle of legs, but Jeff Altringham, the referee, he has a history of not being a great referee, and I thought he was absolutely shocking, but it definitely wasn't the reason why we didn't win the game. Charlie Austin tucks away the penalty quite nicely, and the rest of the first half, it was pretty much all Swindon. It was more than deserved lead. We offered absolutely nothing going forward, genuinely, apart from that one Andy Cook header, which was a good ball in from Gilead, and Cook probably should score. You know, his header was pretty much straight at the keeper, which was quite disappointing. Apart from that, we didn't really have anything in that first half. They doubled their lead as well. A ball got played over the top, and Ash Taylor is literally running like he's in quicksand. He's got cement in his boots. He's absolutely nowhere near it. Stubbs comes across and tries to put a tackle in. I think it's Glatzel cuts away. He squares the ball to the midfielders. It's Devoy who taps in. Brilliant goal, to be fair, for Swindon. Great counter-attacking move. But like I tweeted at the time, who thought that playing a back three of Stubbs, Taylor and Kelly as a high line with a goalkeeper in Sam Walker who's always glued to his goal line would be a good thing? Like, that is so stupid to me. Like, that's surely the common sense in football. If you're going to play three relatively slow defenders, Kelly's got a little bit of pace, but especially Stubbs and Taylor, you cannot play a high line. You've got to play a little bit deeper, because that ball in behind was so obvious and it was killing us in that first half. And with our record of gaining points over the last couple of seasons from losing positions, we all knew as soon as that first goal went in, then definitely after the second goal, that was game done. Swindon in second half didn't really have to do much, to be honest with you, because our attack is toothless. We did make 3 changes at the break with Liam Rideout, Tyler Smith and Andy Cook all being subbed off. Jake Young came onto the pitch. We also had Lewis Richards come on, and I think Harry Chapman came on as well. They were all pretty like-for-like substitutions. We had a slight tweak in the formation. Instead of it being the 3-1-4-2, went to the 3-4-3, but I don't really think Chapman affected the game all too much. Jake Young had some nice touches, and I'm quite happy to see that he is going to be staying. Maybe we didn't quite get the offers that we were looking for him for, but again, he did only have a decent 6-month spell. I feel like Alexander is not the man to get the best out of Jake Young with his style of play and tactics. I think a lot of Jake Young's goals are going to be like what they were under Mike Hughes, something special rather than chances created, if you get what I mean. Later on in the game, we saw McDonald come on for Kieran Kelly, which I thought was a really bizarre move. It then meant Lewis Richards, a left back, was playing left centre back. Clark Adore, number 10, was playing left wing back, and then you had Alex Gilead playing right wing. Lots of square pegs in round holes. That substitution didn't really make sense, especially when Kelly wasn't too bad, and Ash Taylor was still on the football pitch. Our final change was Bobby Poynton coming on for Clark Adore. We then went to a 4-2-3-1 with Gilead in the number 10 role, and I just feel like Alexander doesn't know what his best team is. He doesn't know what the best formation is. He certainly doesn't know what the best tactics are, but he doesn't know what his best starting 11 is, and he's had more than enough time now. He's been in the job a number of months, and there's already fans starting to question him, and I'm certainly one of them. The fact that he's been given a 2.5-year contract, and I said it in that video, he will not last that full time. I'll genuinely be very surprised if he's here until the end of the season, because his football is awful to watch. You're not going to sell season tickets with Alexander's football if you're not winning football matches, and we're not doing that. We don't even look like winning football matches. And you think of some of the teams that we played recently: Colchester in a relegation battle, Salford in a relegation battle, Swindon today have been really poor over the last couple of weeks and months, and we're struggling against them sort of teams. Our run of games coming up now, we've got Wimbledon, who are challenging for the playoffs. You've got Wrexham, Barrow at some point as well in February. We could genuinely, by the end of February sort of time, be in that relegation zone. That is the reality at this moment in time. I think it's unlikely, because the teams below us will have to win games, and I feel like teams like Forest Green and Sutton aren't really doing that at this moment in time, but it is a genuine possibility Bradford City will be relegated this season, and it's the first time since the COVID season I've had genuine worries that we could go down. You look at the recruitment so far in this transfer window, we sold our number 1 in Harry Lewis, which I didn't think was a bad move, because Lewis has been pretty poor so far this season, but we've replaced him with Sam Walker, who I think has made 1 save so far in his Bradford City career, and that was a save which ended up being a rebound tapping for Salford. So he's clearly not a very good goalkeeper. He's had, what, 3 or 4 games now, and he's less than impressed me so far. His kicking takes far too long. His commanding of the area is an improvement on Lewis, I would say, but he's glued to his goal line. When a ball gets played over the top, he very rarely comes out and claims it, and you see the centre-halves are screaming at him to come out and claim the ball, and most of the time he doesn't come out and do so. He's very, very hesitant, and I thought it was quite a poor performance again from Sam Walker. Sam Stubbs, I thought, had a pretty poor game today as that right-sided centre-half. Ash Taylor, absolutely shit. Awful, absolutely dog wank. He is awful. I genuinely don't want to see him play for this football club anymore. You've got the Swindon fans saying how awful he is. You've got all the Bradford fans saying how awful he is. Simply not good enough to be playing for this football club. Kieran Kelly, probably a little bit unlucky with the penalty. Didn't really say I noticed him all too much in the game. Brad Halliday, just an average game from him, nothing really too stand out. Richie Small, poor. Set pieces, absolutely atrocious, not good enough today. You look at Alex Gilead in there, I thought he had a pretty poor game as well. The number of times where his passes were short, not accurate, his dribbles unsuccessful, losing the ball. I thought he had a pretty poor game today. Clark Adore offered absolutely nothing, as he always does. How is he getting starts over Bobby Poynton? Absolutely criminal. Liam Rideout, wouldn't really say he did anything right or wrong in the game. Can't really say I noticed him, to be honest with you. The front 3, Tyler Smith, did he even touch the ball in that first half? Same with Andy Cook. Andy Cook's not a target man. He's not tall enough to be a target man. He's a poacher. He's good in the air inside that penalty area, but anywhere else apart from that, he's not a target man. Why have we let go of Verdane Oliver if we're going to play this way? If you're going to play with a target man, Oliver would have been a pretty good option for that. Now, I know that his ability to head the ball was kind of in question by a lot of Bradford fans because Oliver wasn't really too great in his time with Bradford City, but he'd been a better option than a Matt Derbyshire, who again wasn't even on the bench today, thankfully. And I don't really know what to say at this moment in time. You look at the substitutes as well. Lewis Richards, I thought, had a pretty decent impact when he came on off the bench. Hopefully he gets more minutes going forward. Jonathan Tompkinson sat on the bench for 90 minutes. How? He's our only defender with a real bit of pace. We needed him massively today, and he couldn't get a sniff. Criminal. Kevin McDonald came on and looked quite good again in that midfield. I don't understand why he's not starting. I've mentioned it in the last couple of match previews. He actually brings you a bit of quality and control on the ball. Why is he not playing? Doesn't really make sense. Harry Chapman not involved in the game. Really, all too much. Bottling 50-50 tackles, same with Clark-Ador, not good enough, simply not good enough. Jake Young had a decent impact on the game, created a few chances out of nothing, but really feeding off scraps, lacking the service. And finally, Bobby Poynton, who I don't really think did too much, wasn't really on for long enough to impact the game and should definitely be starting over Clark-Ador week in, week out. Now, to summarise the video, not good enough. Good luck to Swindon for the rest of the season. I thought they comfortably deserved the win today. We weren't good enough. The team selection was completely wrong from Graham Alexander. This one again is on him. And you look back to the hierarchy. Who appointed Graham Alexander? He's not going to be here for the end of his contract, which is what, 2026? Alexander is not going to be here probably by the end of the season, never mind by 2026. So again, a massive waste of wage by the football club. Why have we only made 2 signings this transfer window? Sam Walker needed to come in because we sold Harry Lewis. Tyreek Wright, our only other signing, not included in the matchday squad today, so probably picked up some sort of injury, kind of as expected, playing on our absolutely horrible football pitch when he hasn't played too much football so far this season. And I'm just going to leave it there for the video because I'm going to go round and round in circles. We'll do a more in-depth analysis in tomorrow's 6 things that we learned. So thank you all for putting up with today's video. A bit of a rant and frustration about how poorly this football club is being run and managed at this moment in time. But thank you all for watching. If you have enjoyed, please make sure to drop a like on there for me. If you could try and hit 80 likes. As I said at the start of today's video, that'd be massively appreciated. Subscribe if you're new as well. We are now on the road to 8,000 subscribers, so please make sure you are subscribed. If you haven't already, with that post notification bell on, it's free to do so, and it does massively help out. Get your thoughts in as well down in the comment section down below on today's defeat. Absolutely awful, just awful. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you all very soon for another one. Peace.